半年前、ファイナルすら見ることなく全滅を喫した100人。
しっかり足をグリップ、トップグリップ、
取り戻せるか日本の誇り。難攻不落の鋼鉄の魔城で史上最高の戦いが幕を開ける。訪れたサスケ新世紀、悠久の歴史はこの英雄を待っていた。
初めてクリアしたのは
The first stage last time, just 2 months ago, proved that only 4 people finish it. Will anyone make it through the first stage today and on to uncharted territory? The first stage last time, just 2 months ago, decimated everybody except for 4 challengers. Will anyone be able to make that second stage and on to the final? Let's get started with the first stage. 100 competitors will be taking this challenge on, starting with number 1, Jack is Trash, the host of SASUKE. I hope I said that right. Anyways, 100 seconds are on the clock. And here we go. Jack is Trash is off on the first stage, starting with the rope glider. Gets that dismount. Now for the second obstacle, 90 seconds as he heads into the log grip. This second drop on this second obstacle took out some top competitors last time, like NYC Stiffsock in the previous tournament, but Jack will not fall victim as he heads into the returning pole maze. It's been given a slight modification. Now you have to push it all the way to the end on this part right here before you progress to the end. And he will get that dismount. Now he will be the first competitor to face the jumping spider. Down to 60 seconds left. The average pace we have from the last time. Here we go. Now he needs to get the jump, and he does not get it. Jack is Trash is out on the first stage. What an incredible run to start off the tournament. Just misses the walls completely. These first 3 obstacles were perfect. As he was the first to try it in today, he had no problem after going out on just maybe the first or second obstacle, I don't remember. But on the jumping spider, he just didn't get far enough into the walls, and his run is done. Koi, is that how you say it? 100 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Next competitor off on the first stage here. Heading onto the rope glider, and now gonna get that dismount. And now heading onto the second obstacle with 90 seconds left, starting with the lug grip. That second drop has gotten a lot of people last time, just like I said before on Jack's attempt. Here we go. He gets 1, and he gets 2, and he goes down. Looks like I was correct after all. That second drop claimed people last time, and it continues to get people today. We're gonna move on to our next competitor, number 4, Barry Says. Here we go. 100 seconds on the clock. Here we go. They have begun the first stage. He's wearing the weirdest skin I have possibly seen today. But, hats off to you for not having a very, very confusing avatar. I can actually kind of understand what's going on. There's a football with a painting with a robot skin. Okay, he gets for the log grip. Nice. Now for the pole maze, down to about 75 seconds left as he heads into this obstacle. Here we go. Gets that, and he is through. Gets that dismount. Nicely done. Down to about 65 seconds left as he heads into the jumping spider. We haven't seen anybody give it this properly yet. And he goes down! Out on the jumping spider. He absolutely whiffed that, and he is correct. Hopefully, we'll see him in the next tournament. Number 5, Kashi Mashi. Here we go. Moving on to the rope glider. Here we go. Gets that dismount, and though he almost touches the water there, but he is good to go. 90 seconds now, heading into the log grip. Does he stand a chance here? He gets now to 80 seconds here. 1, 2, and he stands no chance. He stands absolutely no chance, and the log derailed. Can somebody please fix that? Production, somebody get that up there. Thank you. Well, we're gonna move on to number 9, Captain Obvious. This is 95 seconds already. Gets onto the rope glider pad. That pad has already caused a lot of people to slip around. Especially because it's like that close to the water. 80 seconds now as he heads into the log grip. He gets one drop, and he gets two, and he goes down as well. Not the way he wanted to end his run right there, but still a good start. We're going to move on to number 10. This is King Marble. I think he competed in the Classic era, and then he competed in the previous tournament. I don't know. I have notes right now. I'm just purely doing this off of what I remember. Here we go. King Marble, so far we are 10 runs in. No one's finished the fourth obstacle. Here we go. Off on the rope glider. 95 seconds as he makes that dismount. It's going to be coming down to 90 as he heads into the log grip. That clock will continue to tick away, and it's better with speed to finish this stage. And he does not even get close on that dismount. He just goes down. Time is going to be an absolute factor in this stage. That was what I was going to say before he interrupted the fail. We're going to move on to number 13. This is SASUKE. I don't know if that's how you say the name, but they had the name Real Rosa as their display name. I was like, we're not going to have people with a fake name. I was going to put in their actual name and see what happens. Turns out it's a much better name than what their display name is. Anyways, they're on to the log grip. Down to 80 seconds now as he gets one drop, and he goes down. That second drop gets him.
しかし繰り返されるのは無残な光景。40人が挑戦を終えて未だフィニッシュボタンを押す者は現れない。
Well, we're gonna move on to our next competitor, number 23, Cooley Kid Will 2. He says that he's here to be one of those boring runs, filler runs, to be exact, that fills the second obstacle, which is the log grip. I actually hope that doesn't happen. Here we go. 100 seconds on the clock. He says, time to fulfill my duties. I hope that is not mean a good sign. You want to go as far as you can on this course and not think you're going to fail a certain obstacle. If you got the skills on this course, you're going to go far. Nobody has practice on this course at all. Everybody who steps onto this course has new obstacles to face, even if they've never competed before. Here we go. Already for the pole maze so far. Looking good here. Now heading into the jumping spider. They are good on time so far. How are they going to do with the jumping spider? Here we go. And he gets into the chute. Now he has to go and traverse the walls here. He's doing it on time so far. As he becomes the first person to beat the jumping spider. He is down to a decent amount of time. He is now down to 50 seconds left. As he gets one and he misses on the fourth set of bungees. Out on the bungee bridge. Well, he is the first person to beat the jumping spider today. Got through the walls, no problem. But on the bungee bridge, he just, when he went for that third set and then jumped over the fourth set, he just jumped a little bit too late and down he goes. Well, we're going to move on to number 25. This is Caldera. So, can they beat the first stage today? 100 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We have seen only one attempt at the bungee bridge, and that ended in failure. Now moving on to the log grip. 90 seconds left as he heads up to that obstacle. Here we go. He has to survive these two drops. Going for the backside. A lot of people have been going for the backside, and it works out. Here we go. Now down to 75 seconds left as he heads into pole maze. And he is kind of struggling a bit, but he does get through. 70 seconds now as he heads on over to the jumping spider. Now down to 65, and it's now going to be down to 60 seconds. A minute left to go as he sticks it into the walls here on the jumping spider. He gets that second part. Now you have to go upwards. Last ledge, and he is through. He's lagging a bit behind, though. 50 seconds left as he heads into bungee bridge. He's onto the first set of cables. Fourth set, and the fifth set, and he is through. He will be the first person to attempt the Great Wall today. This took out 3 competitors, all due to time. And whoever got here had a lot of time eaten away as he gets up on his second attempt, but he will not. He now is trying again constantly to get up there, and he is good to go. 25 seconds now as he heads into flying chute. He has enough time, and he gets the rope. This is where the part where Yas went out last tournament, though. As he gets that part, and now he has to go under the net. 15 seconds left to go. He has 2 obstacles left. The clock is about to sound right now. If he can get up as fast as he can. Come on, Caldera. Come on. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, come on! No! Time is up! Time is up on the first stage! Just a few seconds too late, and his tournament is over! He was so close! Let's take a look at this again. He took the slower route on Bungee Bridge, but I think that miss on the Great Wall, along with those 2 extra attempts, caused him, even with this move too, he struggled to get under the net and struggled to get off the rope, and that caused for him to run out of time just at the top of the rope ladder, feet away from the button. So close. Well, we're gonna move on to number 26, who has already begun their run. This is Hinya. They're already up onto the second obstacle. They're looking good so far here. Now for the lock grip, here we go. 1 drop incoming. Gets the first one, gets the second! No! They were so close to hanging off of that second drop. And their tournament is done. Well, let's move on to number 29. This is Duck. Here we go. 1 second on the clock here. And they have begun. Here we go. Starting off with the rope glider here. They get the dismount. Nicely done. Nicely done. And they're trying to get up. Now they do. Down to about 85 seconds up to the head into the lock grip here. Looking good so far here. Here we go. Going for the first drop. Gets the second. And ducky through. Nicely done so far. Already head into full maze. This stage hasn't done too much trouble, but it's taken out a lot of time for many competitors, especially for Caldera, who saw a few minutes ago just run out of time atop that final obstacle, the rope ladder. Nearly 30 runs in, but now it's time for Ducky's attempt at the jumping spider. Here we go. And they get into the walls, and they go down! Ducky goes down, slips off the walls almost immediately, and his tournament is over. So close. Well, we're gonna move on to number 30, Real No Way. 100 seconds on the clock, off on rope glider. Down to 95 seconds, and he's closing on a dismount, and he will get that dismount. 90 seconds now, head up to the log grip. We are 30 runs in, and we have yet to see anybody make it to the top of the rope ladder and through the rest of this stage. Already looking good so far here. Now headed into pole maze, 75 seconds now, as he goes back, but he gets the hang of it. Doesn't fall off there. And now down to about 65 seconds left. And speed can kill. We've seen it happen already, and he doesn't go for the speed. He needs to go back and get it. What are you doing? No! Clay, are we serious, man? Fails to jump in spider, and speed can kill, even mentally too. If you don't see something, you're gonna see it way too late. Well, we're gonna move on to number 31. This is Pumpkin. They say 1.1 fail. Let's see what happens. And the clock has already started for some reason. Oh, and they lag a bit ahead. Goodness gracious. I thought they fell off the platform, but they are good. Down to 85 seconds. Headed into lock grip. Still lagging. What is happening? Alright, 80 seconds now. And it is paused again. What is happening? I don't understand. Oh, and he's literally already on pole maze with 70 seconds left. Goodness gracious. Alright, now down to about 65 seconds as he exits out of the pole maze. Now headed up to jumping spider. Here we go. Needs to get into the chute here. Doesn't make the same mistake that Clay did as he gets into the chute. Nicely done. Here we go. Now he's traversed the walls very quickly. 50 seconds left. That clock is not going to help either. That time is still ticking away, down to 40 seconds. Headed the bungee bridge, and he rushes and he goes down. Pumpkin is out on the bungee bridge. One step too far. Well, we're going to move on to number 32. This is Ruby. Here we go, 100 seconds on the clock. And they are... okay, now they're off. There we go. Alright, that was a weird one. Okay. Alright, off so far here. Nicely done so far. Now heading on to the log grip. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm coughing so much right now. Okay, 75 seconds now. Heading into pole maze. At least Ruby's not lagging like Pumpkin did literally one run ago. Goodness grief. Alright, and they go back, and now at the end. Here's the dismount. Nicely done. 80 seconds left. Heading into jumping spider. There we go. We've seen this take out at least maybe 10 people today as they get into the chute. Nicely done. Now he has to traverse the walls, and he goes down. Ruby is out on the jumping spider. Slips off the walls, and their tournament is over. Well, we're going to move on to number 35. This is veteran player. I don't remember if they competed last time. Let's see if that was the case. Looking good so far. Here we go. Looking good so far. Now for log grip. Here we go. Down to 85 seconds left as he heads into this obstacle. Here we go. Needs to get for the first drop. Gets the second, and he is through. Nicely done for veteran. Already chilling on this course so far. But that clock is going to continue to tick. Here we go. Down to 65 seconds now. Heading into the jumping spider. Now going to be down to 67. And no, I did not say the forbidden number. That number sucks. Anyways, down to... Gets into the chute. Down to 50 seconds. This timer is going way too quick. And he slips off the walls. He does not even get a chance to go up. And his tournament is over. Well, we're going to move on to number 41. This is Potato Man. 100 seconds on the clock here. And he says something that he says in my bag. I hope that's not a good... I hope that's an okay sign. I hope that's not too bad. 90 seconds now, heading into log grip. Here we go. We're getting a unique shell over here. Here we go. Down to 80 seconds left as he exits log grip. Gets through those 2 drops and now heading into pole maze. Here we go. Gets this first one. Gets this second. And you're through. Alright. Nicely done. Nicely done. Here we go. Head up into jumping spider. Potato Man's looking good. Gets this. Here we go. Setting himself up. And he gets into the walls. Here we go. Down to 55 seconds as he traverses upwards and exits out the jumping spider with more than 50 seconds left. He has the chance to clear now. Here we go. Heading the bungee bridge. Taking the slower route. And it pays off. Doesn't make the same mistake like Pumpkin did, rushing or taking your time. It will give you either 2 outcomes, but now Potato Man's onto the Great Wall is already struggling, but gets it up in 2 attempts. Here we go. Hey, into flying chute. 30 seconds left. He has enough time to clear here. That is, if he doesn't make any more mistakes, he goes sideways and down he goes. Potato Man is out on flying chute. Just not even able to get both hands on the net, and his tournament is over. Let's take a look at that again. As you can see here, he gets this harder jump onto the rope, but he goes sideways, and the rope swings back, and he's not able to land on the very small lip. Well, we're going to move on to number 42. This is Min. 100 seconds on the clock already. And the camera is lagging a bit behind, but that shouldn't be a problem. 90 seconds now, headed into the log grip. Now it's going to be down to 85 as he gets onto this obstacle. Here we go. Going for the first drop. Going for the second. He comes undone. Min is out on the first stage. Oh, that is so sad. Well, we're going to move on to number 43. This is Ludwig Mario Party, who had a bit of a connection issue here at the beginning. He's saying he's lagging. I hope that doesn't become a problem here as he almost decides to go into the drink on the first obstacle. What are you doing? You know you're on a time limit, right? Anyways, he's lagging a bit behind still as he heads onto the log grip. Here we go. 80 seconds now. And it starts without him for some reason. Did he jump to it? I don't know. Well, he is already onto the obstacle now. Here we go. 1 drop. 2 drop. And he goes down. Oh, that's just sad. Alright, we're going to move on. Let's move on to number Does this guy even have a number? Oh wait, this is LeBron does everything. He's number 44. I looked at my notes wrong. Anyway, it's 100 seconds on the clock here as he heads on to that first obstacle, the rope glider. 95 seconds now. Gets that dismount and jumps back for some reason. Anyways, he is already down to 85 seconds left. Headed into the log grip. Taking his time here with that payoff. Going for one, and he goes down on the first drop almost immediately. Saying rip, and he knows it. He is down on the first obstacle. Well, we've seen these people. Hazim will be running in just a bit. Here's where everybody else has been struggling on the first stage. We'll be seeing Addison Judah, Rich Squigs, and Bowling all run much later today. But this first stage has proven to be absolutely problematic as we're nearing the halfway point of the 100 runs and no one has been able to clear the first stage, with the jumping spider being the most victims for the next 5 competitors, as they will all go down. Well, our next challenger is number 49, Hazim, and they have a bone to pick with this first stage. Last tournament, they were just 3 obstacles away from punching a ticket to that second stage. Way out on the flying chute, 100 seconds on the clock. Can Hazim become our first person to clear Shin SASUKE's first stage here in the second tournament and make it 5 people in the second stage? Already off on the log grip so far. Rope glider, my bad. Alright, I'm literally getting slow on my words here. Anyways, he is now down to 85 seconds left as he heads into the log grip. Here's his first drop. Gets that first one, gets the second, and down to 80 seconds, headed into pole maze. We've seen this stage become absolutely difficult so far. But gets to the end. Here's the jump off, and he does. Now for the jumping spider. He has had experience with almost all of these obstacles. The only experience he doesn't have is with Tarzan rope and rope ladder. That was because he went down flying chute. He was on pace 2 to clear the previous tournament, but he does get to the jumping spider. Now heading to bungee bridge. Feels like a carbon copy of his first run. He had more than 40 seconds left when he got to Great Wall, and he is now on a repeat run here. But the question is, will he go down flying chute, or will he get his redemption? Misses on that first attempt, and he gets up in 2! Well done! 30 seconds left, heading into flying chute. This is where he went out last time, misses the jump, and he gets it! Now he has to swing to the net, and he is now has to climb under. He has more than 10 seconds, way more than Caldera. But now these last 2 obstacles are basically unfailable. Here's the klaxon. Here it comes. Hazim 10 seconds away from punching their ticket to the first stage. And he has become our first survivor of the first stage. Hazim, number 49, has finally cleared the first stage. Last tournament went on the flying chute. And this time, the second time is the charm. Here we go. He gets the Great Wall on his second attempt. And he gets his revenge on the same jump that he failed on flying chute. And from there, the rest of this stage was smooth sailing. Being the first person to complete the rope ladder and the first stage today, Hazim will be moving on. Well done. Well, we are 50 runs in, and we finally have somebody clearing the first stage. Our next challenger may have the skills to do just that, and they have the skills. This is Waffle Fox, aka number 50. Some people might have known him as Dr. Furry or Big Fish 2007. Either name works. Already onto the log grip here, down to 85 seconds. We have seen 1 for 2 on the rope ladder. That was Caldera timing up and Hazim ultimately clearing the first stage. Now Waffle Fox is in the pole maze, down to 70 seconds now. Gets off that obstacle. Here we go. Nicely done. Down to 65 seconds remaining as he heads into jumping spiders. 60 seconds now. Testing trampoline, and he gets into the chute. Nicely done. Very solid jump in there. That is probably the perfect jump into jumping spider I've seen today. 50 seconds now. Down to 45, struggling to try and figure out how to get up to this next leg here. And they get up. Here we go. 40 seconds now. Head into bungee bridge. they're gonna have to go as far as they can at this point, really. You can still clear with this much time left, but if you make too many mistakes, you're gonna time out on the back end here. This is the back end, starting with the Great Wall. Here we go, misses on his first attempt, going back for another attempt. 20 seconds left as he misses the rope. Here we go, now down to 15 seconds, going back, running up, and misses the rope again. Come on, Waffle Fox, 10 seconds left. Come on! Oh my goodness! I thought he fell off there. He's good. He's good. Come on! 2 seconds. He gets up the wall. Time is up. Time is up on the first stage for Waffle Fox. So close. An incredible breakout run for number 50. So we're gonna move on to number 51. This is Help. 100 seconds on the clock. Last tournament, they went out on the Jumping Spider. No, it was in fact the past 2 tournaments in a row. They went out on the Jumping Spider. Can they break the curse today? 85 seconds now, already approaching the first, and then second drop of the log rip. There we go. They get through that. They will not fall victim. They've had consistency with this course, but not in the way you expect. They've reached these 4 obstacles. It's always been the Jumping Spider ever since the debut of this competition, ever. Now, 55 seconds, now going to be down to 60 seconds, heading to the Jumping Spider. This is where they went out in Tournament 1. It was on a much harder version, but they get that. Here's where they went out in the last tournament. Here we go. Help! Overshoots! And that is it! They go down the Jumping Spider yet again. So we're gonna move on to our last 30 competitors, starting with Ninjago Hero 33. They already begun their run. Gets that dismount on the rope glider, down to 90 seconds now, headed up to the log grip. We have seen only 1 finisher so far. 1 finisher. Could be 2. Maybe we could get past 4. Last tournament, we had only 4 people finish the first stage. Roblox Polish player, Bowling, Addison Judah, and Bovner were all able to finish a ridiculously difficult first stage. But the way it's going, we might not get that same number again for a good while here. Already moving on to the Jumping Spider. That pace could be kept up a bit here. Down to 50 seconds now, heading into that Jumping Spider as they make it through. 50 seconds now as they traverse the walls. Going upwards. Here we go, here's the last part, and they've done it. Down to 40 seconds. They're gonna have to pick up the pace here if they want to have any chance of finishing, and they go really fast on Bungee Bridge, and they make it through. Now down to only 30 seconds left. They're gonna have to get this in 1 attempt if they want any chance. No, they will not. They're gonna have to play catch up now because they took so much time, and they slipped down the rope. Oh my goodness. Ninjago Hero, a strong start. Now coming to a complete emergency here on the Great Wall. Ninjago Hero, 10 seconds left. Come on. He's not enough time. If he can get up this wall. Come on. 2, 1, and they go off the course, and that is time. Ninjago Hero will not be advancing to the second stage as the Great Wall turns them back down. Well, we're gonna move on to number 74. This is Galaxy. I believe in the original Tournament 1, they went out on the first stage, but they didn't compete in the previous tournament, so the reboot is new to them. We have seen only one finisher so far, and we are approaching the 3/4 waypoint of the first stage. We are almost done with the first stage. At the rate this going, we might get a solo second stage. And the last time that's happened, that was in the original Shin SASUKE, when Exai was the only person to clear this tournament. He gets revenge on the pole maze. That was the obstacle he failed. Now he's saying he's cooked. Here he goes into the jumping spider. 60 seconds now. They are on a really good pace to finish the rest of this stage if they don't make any more mistakes. And they get for the jumping spider. Now down to 50 seconds remaining as they take the fast throw up bungee bridge, and it pays off. The fast strategy hadn't paid off for some people, but now for the others, it has. Misses his first attempt, going for a second, and it does not work out. They missed the rope, and now it's swinging. It's way harder to do the Great Wall with a swinging rope, but we've seen Hazim overcome it. Save a Caldera. Now down to only 25 seconds. He set rope moves. He's figured that out pretty much by now. Here we go. He is now 20 seconds away. He's definitely not going to have enough time to finish the rest of this stage at the way this is going. Just like Ninjago Hero. He's down. He says, okay, I'm done. Here we go. He misses the rope again. 10 seconds. 8, 6, no! 5, 4, 3, 2, misses the rope again, and time is up. Well, we're gonna move on to number 75. This is Rich Z. Recently had a new username change. Some people hate it, but personally, I like it. Well, Rich last tournament shocked everybody, even me, in production by going out on the jumping spider in the previous tournament. The jumping spider is still yet to be beaten by Rich. If he can beat the jumping spider, he says, he can go all the way to the top of the final stage. Gets a little stuck there, but he is lightning fast with the pole maze. Now down to 65 seconds left as he heads into the next obstacle, the jumping spider. Here we go. He now has only a minute remaining on the clock here as he heads into between the walls here. Looking good. 55. Nicely done. Rich has officially gotten his revenge, and he's gotten much further than he did before. Here we go. 4 obstacles remaining, starting with the Great Wall. Here we go. Misses on that attempt. Now let's do it again. And he misses once more. Galaxy and Ninjago are both up here, but not Rich. 30 seconds left as he goes back up, and now he's up. Here's the flying shoot. Gets it in 1. And he's never faced it. Gets a giant swing up, and now he can go down. Perfect strategy by Rich. But now he has to get under the net. Yes, he does. He now has only 15 seconds left. He is on a very similar pace to Caldera, who we saw run earlier today. 10 seconds left. That klaxon is sounding. Come on, Rich. Come on. Make it happen. 4 seconds. He's left down the wall. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Come on. Can he make it? Yes, he does. Rich. By just a few hundredths of a second, Rich has cleared the first stage. The smoke doesn't go off, but Rich is moving on. He has found out he is moving on to the second stage. Look at this again. This was absolutely solid. Perfect textbook technique on the fly and shoot. Perfect technique. You cannot say that again. You can say it again. And look at this save on the rope ladder. He nearly falls off, and he'll move on to the second stage. Well, we're going to begin our next run with Titsho, aka number 81. Last time, he went out on the pole maze in the previous tournament in a digested run. Now he's getting this run shown in full for the first time. Now down to only 70 seconds now, headed into the pole maze. This is where he came undone. Not today. Here we go. 65 seconds left. As he gets off, now has to head into the jumping spider. 60 seconds remaining here. Now down to 55 seconds. Gets a good jump, and he's into the chute. Now he has to traverse the walls here, and he's already slipping. Now he has to traverse the walls pretty slowly here. And he goes down. Titsho is out on the jumping spider, but he gets 1 obstacle further than he did last time. Well, we're going to move on to number 82. This is Cool Gamer 200. 122.62. Gosh, that is a weird name. I messed up on literally the first digit. Yes, I took math, and I dropped out of it after in my junior year of high school. Deal with it. And yeah, I'm a commentator here in Japan. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do nothing. Oh! Koi is down on the second obstacle. After getting to the fourth obstacle, he is done in the previous tournament. Goodness. Well, we're going to move on to number 83, who has already began his run. This is Roblox Studio Expert 2. This is his second tournament competing on Shin SASUKE's Reboot. He ended off his breakout run in the previous tournament by making it all the way to the 7th obstacle. He wants to go past the 2nd obstacle. He wants to make it to that 2nd stage. He wants to make it to the 3rd stage and join bowling as the only specialist in history to reach the 3rd stage in competition. Now, the studio has to focus on the jumping spider as he lands into the chute. Very well done. Now has to traverse the walls very quickly here, and he does. He does. Here we go. He now has 50 seconds remaining as he takes the fast approach on bungee bridge, and it works out for him. Now has to move on to the Great Wall. Gets this first floor, and he's up in 1. He could go for the speed record set by Roblox Polish player for the previous tournament, who finished with almost 10 seconds remaining. Here we go. And now he has to get under the net here. Come on. Come on. Can he get under the net at all here? He's really struggling to get under here. You have to clip through the net, but he does. He has gotten revenge on the flying chute. That fastest time may still be in question here. He is now going to have a chance to go for the fastest time right now. 15 seconds left. On the same pace that Vomino had in the previous tournaments. 10 seconds left. Come on. Oh my goodness. Finishes with 8.5. Not the fastest time, but still an incredible run as Roblox Studio Expert 2 becomes the 3rd person to finish the 1st stage today. We are now on pace to get our 1st stage clear record broken if they can keep going at this rate here. And now they are 1 step closer to the top of the final stage. Well done. Well done. Oh my goodness. This guy is going to be a star. Well, we're going to move on to number 86, who came up just 2 obstacles away from reaching the 2nd stage. This is SASUKE. Went down the flying chute in heartbreaking fashion in the previous tournament. Can he avenge his previous failure? Here we go. Number 86. He has the potential, but does he have the wits and the skills to prove that he can go far? Now for the log grip. This is where we've seen people go on the 2nd drop! Oh, Taku is down! So close! Well, we're gonna move on to number 88. This is we are down to our last 10 runs at this point, realistically, in this competition. 12 runs are remaining as Bomblon is right now onto the log grip. This is his first time competing in Shin SASUKE. 85 seconds now, approaching these drops here. Gets 1 and gets 2, and he is through. 80 seconds left to go as he heads up to pole maze. Here we go. His buddy Yas will be running this stage later today in the 90s. We'll be seeing Yas run later, along with Addison Judah and Volvino and Bowling. They are all going to take on this 2nd stage later as Bomblom enters the jumping spider, gets a good jump into it. Nice bounce, and he takes the weird sideways strategy, which has worked for some competitors. But now 50 seconds remaining, heading the bungee bridge as he goes really fast sideways. He doesn't even care about slope, and he is through. Now he has 45 seconds left to go. Bomblom misses his first attempt. Now for his 2nd attempt. 40 seconds now as he gets up. And he's up. All right, here we go. He's now down to 30 seconds left to go here. Flying shoot. Here's the net. Trying to figure out how to get there. And he doesn't even need to swing. Barely uses any swing now. 20 seconds now. He is almost at 20 seconds here as he exits flying chute. Now he is on to the Tarzan rope and rope ladder. Here we go. He now has only 10 seconds left. He is not going to get that fastest time record here in the reboot, but he will make it 4 on the 1st stage. He will be moving on. Finishes with 6.8 seconds left on the clock. Bomblom showing why he deserves to be in the second stage. Took just only 2 attempts to get off the wall, and flying shoot was perfect. Didn't even need to swing at all. And from there, the rest of this stage was smooth sailing. Bomblom becomes our 4th person to finish and now ties the first stage clear record from the previous tournament. Well done. Well, we're going to move on to our next competitor. This is number 91. This is Tons. Here we go. Off on the first stage here. 100 seconds on the clock. That's all you get. So far, we have tied the record for the first stage clear record. We have 4 people clear last time. Addison, Polish, Valvano, and Bowling. They all cleared the first stage last time. Now we're seeing a variety of competitors. Hazim, Roblox U Expert, Fomlom, and the other person that was able to make it. Can't remember their name, but right now Polish on the jumping spider. But yeah, we have 4 clears already on the first stage. Tons can make it 5 if he doesn't make any more mistakes here. Heading to bungee bridge. Here we go. He's now at 50 seconds so far here. Looking good. Looking good. Catches the 4th set, and it's for the 5th set of bungees. He's through that obstacle. Nicely done. He will not fall into the bungee bridge. 40 seconds now. Heading up to the Great Wall. He misses his first attempt. Has to go for the second. Does it again. Here we go. 30 seconds left here as he gets up, and he is through. Now he'll be on to the flying chute. We just saw this do some massive damage here. Here we go. They get that. They get that. And they are through. They are through. Here we go. Looking good. 10 seconds left here. Tons. Can they clear the first stage and make it 5? Can they make it 5 on the second stage? Here we go. He's climbing the rope ladder. 1 second. He does it. He's moving on to the second stage. The buzzer hasn't worked, but he's good. He was able to hit it inside the time limit just barely. And now we're going to move on to number 92. This is Goward. Here we go. He's now on to 85 seconds here. Heading into the log grip so far. Looking good. Looking good. And Goward's through. Alright. Looking good so far here. Now for pole maze. We haven't seen this do a lot of damage, which is a good thing. Here we go. Getting through that. No problem. Here we go. 65 seconds. Now going to be down to 60. Heading into jumping spider. And Goward sticks them out. Tom Gowie, known as Goward, building his own ninja competition in wipeout style. Pretty interesting. Now for the bungee bridge, and he undershoots the second set of bungees, and his run is over. Well, we're going to move on to number 93. This is Volvino. Last tournament, he was just a few seconds away from punching a ticket to the second stage. Well, actually to the first stage. He timed out in the shoulder walk in the previous tournament. Let's see if he can get some redemption here. Alright, looking good so far. Volvino, he lapped in the classic era second tournament in the first tournament of the reboot. He was able to clear the first stage both times. He can do it again here. So far, Polish is the only person, well, to attend this version of the jumping spider. Both the Bartek version and the reboot version, which has the ledges on it. Bartek version was most difficult. Here we go. Volvino, 4th set of bungees, 5th set of bungees, and he's through. Kind of wearing the outfit of a person who should not be named, and I'll keep it that way. Here we go. Now 40 seconds up here. Head into the flying chute. He gets the rope here, and there's the whiplash. Here's the net, and he goes down! Volvino is done! His tournament is over! The latest fix to the flying chute of all people. Volvino had no problem with this in this last tournament. Let's look at this again. He's able to endure the whiplash here. He grabs it. He goes up a massive swing to get to the net. He's able to grab it with his right hand, but now he's left, and the rope swings back, and his tournament is over. Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to move on to number 94. This is Nightplex _ Whitey. Knight was one of the few people to time up on the Great Wall in the previous tournament. Now for the lock grip, 80, almost down to 85 seconds left here. Head into this obstacle, gets one drop and gets two. Here we go, makes it through that. Now for the pole maze. Here we go. Already going to be down to 70 seconds here as he dismounts the obstacle and moves on to the jumping spider. This so far hasn't really messed around with a few people before in the recent numbers, and he overshoots! I just jinxed him. I am so sorry. I just jinxed Knight, and he will not get back to the Great Wall again, unfortunately. Well, we're going to move on to number 95. This is Finn Z. He is one of the best ETO players that came out here today to run Shin SASUKE. Here we go. Gets that dismount the rope glider, and now for the log grip. Looking good so far here on the first stage. This course has been absolutely difficult. Here we go. Gets the second drop, and they're through. Nicely done. Here we go. Now for pole maze. Here we go. They get this one here, and they're gonna get through the pole maze with no issues here. Now gonna try to become the first ETO player to beat the jumping spider. Here we go. Gets it. Yes! Gets in the chute. Now he has to traverse the walls. These jumps shouldn't be any issue. He's a high kata player and he makes it through the jumping spider. Now for the bungee bridge. This is something he might be used to, with especially some jumps, some towers having low jump power, but he makes it through there. It is just like a formality to him. Now he is already at to 40 seconds. He can clear the first stage if he doesn't make any more mistakes as he misses the Great Wall in his first attempt. Now for the second attempt here, and he misses it. 30 seconds already. Misses it again. Here we go. 25 seconds on the clock here. Misses again. Here we go. 20 seconds left. Here we go. Can they do it? Finn Z, what the strongest performances by an ETO player, coming to a screeching halt on the Great Wall. Here's the klaxon. Come on. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Misses the rope again, and that is it for Finn's. The best run ever by an ETO player to this point. Says he's not good at this obstacle, not good at warp walls. Honestly, I don't blame him. Still, what an incredible run. Well, we're going to move on to number 96. This is the Tower Ninja. Due to some numbers that were not able to show up or had to be cut because they requested to be cut. Well, they're looking good here. Alright. So the Tower Ninja rarely getting number 96. He doesn't really get any numbers higher than that as he almost goes through the pole maze. Almost just eats it on the pole maze here. Now he has to get out. Almost down to 60 seconds here. Struggling to get off here, and they're good. Spinning around a bit, but they make it through. Let's hope that distance didn't affect him somewhat here on the pole maze. Here we go. Almost misses the speed. Doesn't want to make the same mistake as Clay, and he undershoots out on the jumping spider. He will not get to go past this obstacle again, unfortunately, for the second time. Mao is one of few people to ever reach those final two obstacles, but never has finished the first stage. In Tournament 1 Classic era, he went down the flying chute. Last tournament, he went out, he timed out at the beginning at the Tarzan rope. He's wearing Yuji's outfit from the good old Sasuke 27. It was in Sasuke 27 that Yuji Ishihara was able to achieve total victory for the second time wearing this outfit. Mao hoping it will bring him some good luck. Alright, looking good. 80 seconds now. Head up to the pole maze. Looking good so far. Here we go. Survives. Now, for the jumping spider. This is what he struggled with in the past, but that was back then when it was Bartek. Nowadays, it's pretty simple. Gets into the chute here. Traversing the walls. Come on. Come on. Yes, he's done it. Alright. 55 seconds left here. Head into bungee bridge. Looking good so far here. Can they make it for the first stage again? They want to get for the first stage. They want to get for the first stage. They had problems with this obstacle in the past. Can you put those problems away? Misses again. If you get more than 5 attempts on this obstacle, you might be in trouble. Here we go. Looking good. Looking good. And he's got it. Alright. Alright, 2 obstacles left. Starting with flying shoot. This is where he's way on the pass. On top of the rope. But not this time. Skips the net completely. He's got enough time to finish the rest of this stage. Here we go. He's got 15 seconds left. He timed out here at the beginning in the previous tournament. But that's not going to be the case. Come on, Mal. Come on. The button's right there. He's going to do it. Yes! Mal has finally done it. After 3 tournaments of never clearing the first stage in the classic era, and last tournament, in the first tournament of the reboot, he finally clears the first stage. Mal went with speed, and that finally paid off. He's earned his first ever ticket to the second stage. Number 97, Mal has finally done it. Well, damn done. Absolutely deserves that number, and that run shows why. Oh my goodness. Our third to final competitor today is Addison Judah. Just 2 months ago, they were just a few seconds away from punching their ticket to the third stage, but they were one of the strongest competitors to ever make it to the second stage, that tournament, being one of 4 to do it. Is this their tournament for total victory tonight? Well, we are about to find out. Starting with number 98, this is Addison Judah. 100 seconds on the clock. This is their second time. Their third time now taking on Shin SASUKE. They cleared the first stage in the previous 2 attempts. Once in the classic era second tournament, and then did it again last time, was one of 4 people to finish a challenging first stage. And that was despite it being the exact same. Despite this course being the exact same, we have so far a total of 6 people on the second stage. That's 2 more than we had in the previous tournament. Addison Judah looking good at the jumping spider, making solid work, and they are through. Addison Judah is one of the strongest competitors for total victory, and you could tell it the moment they debuted in the classic era in the second tournament. Now that tournament never aired, but they were one of 2 people to finish the first stage out of nearly 100 people. Well, only 80 ran that tournament, despite Motivation was not able to be there to quit there, and Addison's through the flying shoot. Addison Judah looking good here. 25 seconds now. 25 seconds. They're gonna keep going here. Addison Judah gets the rope, and he's on the rope ladder. Addison Judah, the fastest time of the tournament, and gets a new record here on the first stage. Addison Judah, the buzzer doesn't work, but they were able to finish inside the time limit. And they are moving on to the second stage. Addison Judah, 16 seconds left on the clock. The new speed record is Addison's. Well, we're gonna move on to number 99. This is Roblox Polish Player 4. They were one of 4 people last tournament to finish the first stage just 2 months ago. But they went out on the medal spin, despite being the first person to ever beat the salmon ladder here in the reboot. Despite it being unbeatable just nearly 5 months, 4 or 5 months ago, it was nearly unbeatable. Now, he is already from full maze, looking good. Polish, one of the strongest competitors we have, helps out with testing for Ascension, a competition hosted by Nebula Deception. And looking good so far. That experience coming into really well into play here. Almost down to 50 seconds as he gets out of a bungee bridge and heads to the Great Wall. Here we go. Can they get on their first attempt? No, they cannot. Misses on that second grab there. And now has to go for another attempt. They're lagging a bit here. I'm assuming they're going for no. Oh, okay. And they're already on flying shoot. Goodness, Polish. Alright. And he's struggling to get under the net now. I don't think that speed record's going to be in question anymore. But he's trying to get under the net here. And he's gonna do a dance clip and it works out for him. Alright, he's got enough time to finish the stage here if he doesn't make any more mistakes. You really can't make any more mistakes at this point. Only thing you can do is run out of time or fail to transfer the rope glider, which he will not. Roblox Polish Player 4 becomes our 8th finisher of the first stage. Well done, Polish. Well done, man. 2 months ago, last tournament, he was the only competitor to finish the second stage, and he was the last person standing in a brutal third stage. However, on the Shin cliffhanger, his dream of total victory came to an end on the third ledge. Is this his tournament for total victory tonight? So here we go. For the first time ever in his storied career, Bowling gets to wear number 100 for the first time. The pride of Shin, Sasuke. Last tournament, just 2 months ago, he was the only person to finish the second stage and become the very first person to ever attempt Shin Sasuke's third stage. Although he went down on the Shin cliffhanger in that very same tournament 2 months ago, he has grown since then. Can he get back to the third stage? Can he push that mark further? Now for the jumping spider. He has faced some obstacles here that he's had trouble with. Looking good so far. Every time he's taken on Shin Sasuke's first stage, he's cleared it. He's cleared it in the original. That's never been aired. He's cleared it back in classic era. And he's looking good for Bungee Bridge. And last tournament, he was able to clear the first stage with by far one of the only 3 other people to make it there, but even this Great Wall can stop him. I don't think it will. He has had some very good experience with this course here, but he is now down already up to 25 seconds here, and he's just making sure he can get up the wall, and he does. He does. Now he'll be on the flying chute. He now has only 20 seconds here as he makes it in one swing, and he doesn't make the same mistake that Fulmino did just a few runs ago. Here we go. He now has 10 seconds. Here's the collection. Here it comes. Come on. Come on, Bowling. You got this. Come on. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Jesse's made it. Falling at the first stage with a bang. 9 people will be advancing to the second stage. Bowling is our last competitor, Mr. 100, continuing his consistency here on the first stage of Shin Sasuke. Unbelievable run right here. Wow. It's Great Wall's attempt. Missed a few times, but after Great Wall, it was smooth sailing on the flying chute. Although he cut it insanely close, he nearly timed it at the very end, but he was able to do it just with 0.10 of a second, and he will move on to the second stage again. 9 competitors are left in the competition after the brutal first stage. 100 began the first stage, and now 9 are left as we move on to the second stage. Well done. Well done to everybody who was able to press that red button and move on to the next stage of the competition.
Shin Sasuke 最多の16人が挑む第2ステージ。最大の難所はサーモンラダー。第4エリアは新登場アンステーブルブリッジ。2枚目の揺れ方要注意。
力を3人で見せたい。ミスなくあのボタンを押せれば。
The last one, actually, the most.
We started with 100 competitors at the beginning of the first stage. Now only 9 people are left in the competition as we head into the second stage. With barely any changes and only one new obstacle, can the field adapt? We're gonna begin with number 49, Hazim, who was the first person to clear the first stage. Here we go, starting off on the downhill jump, gets the rope, and now has to slide down, and now takes on the salmon ladder. Just nearly 4 months ago, this thing was unbeatable. Trying to get the bar off of those runs, the pad starts to retract, and he goes down! Out on the salmon ladder almost instantly. Hazim is done. Well, we're gonna move on to number 75, Rich Squigs. AKA Rich, off of the downhill jump here, gets that bar, now heading into the salmon ladder. He gets the rope, I was gonna say. Here we go, looking good here, but now has to get the rope up, gets the bar up, looking a little crooked. Down to almost 35 seconds left, just makes it the third run. Trying to find a consistent rhythm. Get 30 seconds now. Now here's the jump to the bigger gap on the seventh run. He gets that, and he is through. He will now have only 20 seconds to face off against this new obstacle, the unstable bridge. That first bridge has only 4 ropes on it, but that second one has 2, and you have to traverse momentum, and he goes down! Rich Squigs, the first victim of the new unstable bridge, and his tournament is over. Rich out on the unstable bridge. Tons cannot believe it, and neither can we. He was the first person to beat the salmon ladder to date, but it was a massive struggle. And on the brand new unstable bridge in the second stage, he generated momentum on the first plank and he went sideways. But he made the transfer look good, bombed the second one. He turned sideways, and that's only suspended on 2 ropes at the end. So he slips off, and his grip gave out, and his tournament is done.
このリズム、あっと右が外れたが大丈夫。リズミカルに刻む。このカタカタという音が緑山や松永もだ。
Well, 5 are down, 4 to go. Tons is up next on the second stage. We have seen nobody make it through that unstable bridge. Tons could be our best bet for that. Already into the salmon ladder. This just knocked out Roblox Studio just a few minutes ago. Not disqualification from what I've heard of. Judges are saying it's okay. Already down to 30 seconds as Tons gets up the salmon ladder and now has about 20 seconds left to go. The judges are saying the pad is a malfunction, so they'll let him continue. See how far he can get here. They'll call it if something else happens. Already gets that second bridge, and he'll be the first to beat the unstable bridge. But now's the bell spin. He grabs the chain. Can he get to the 10th bell? Oh, and he loses his grip. And that is it for Tons. The first victim to the metal spin wasn't going to have enough time to clear, but let's take a look at that again. The first person to beat the unstable bridge, he gets that second plank, which knocked out Rich a couple minutes ago. But on that metal spin, he just lost his grip on the chain after he was starting to swing to the dismount platform, and he came up short. Well, the second stage has yet to be beaten. Number 97 is way in the wings. Here he is, taking on the second stage for his first time ever, Mao. 55 seconds on the clock here, and he is off on the downhill jump. Here we go. Now for the salmon ladder. This time the pad should work, unless something else happens. So far, it looks like it's not doing anything, but he's already up onto the salmon ladder anyways. Here's the jump to the 7th round. He gets that. This is his second time. This is his first time ever. Not his second. This is his first time on the second stage, and he's struggling already on the unstable bridge. Jumped on the plank earlier at the beginning, trying to wobble a bit. Gains momentum, and he is through. He is through the unstable bridge. He's the second person to beat it. Here's the jump on the bell spin. He gets that. Can he get to this bound? Yes, he can. We'll be taking our first look at the shoulder lock. 10 seconds left. Now he can make that second stage if he doesn't make any more mistakes. Come on. 3 seconds. The point's right there. 2. Come on. No. Oh. That's it! Time's up on the second stage! That one too many misses on the salmon ladder and that weird start on the unstable bridge. All out of time on the second stage at the very end, just 1 second away. So close. Well, we're gonna move on to number 98. We are down to 3 as in Judah. They want revenge on the second stage. They timed up on the shoulder walk just 2 months ago. 2 months ago, they timed out and they went out on the second stage. But with the unstable bridge causing a lot of time to be wasted, are they going to use that to their advantage? Looking already so far, 35 seconds approaching the 7th run. Gonna be 30. Looking like it, and they're through the stick slider. Alright, nicely done. Now for the unstable bridge. This we just saw take out Rich just a couple minutes ago. Did a lot of time wasted for tons, and now here's the jump of the bell spin. They get that, and it's no problem for Addison. Here we go. 10 seconds left. This is where they timed out at the end. Here we go. They need to cross the plate with the weight and the bar. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Addison Judah clears the second stage for the first time ever. Addison Judah's moving on. Beats the salmon ladder. Beats the unstable bridge in only 3 swings. And defeats the shoulder walk to advance to the 3rd stage for the first time ever. Well done. Well, we're gonna move on to number 99. This is Roblox Polish Player 4. They went out on the medal spin in the previous tournament just 2 months ago, but they're looking like they can get back there and move on. Needs to get on and hop up 7 runs on the salmon ladder. Looking really strong here. Probably by far the fastest person to that 7th run. And he is up and already has 30 seconds left. Head into the unstable bridge, the fastest time of this tournament so far to this obstacle. Here we go. Now he's trying to generate some momentum here. And it seems like he's kind of struggling here. Roblox Polish Player 4. Here we go. He's out of some momentum, but the klaxon's gonna sound. Come on, Polish. Come on. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Come on. He's gotta go for the second blink. He goes and he takes a dive. Roblox Polish Player 4. More than enough time to clear the rest of this stage. Ripped off on the unstable bridge. He struggles to generate momentum early, and that caused him to miss the second plank. He's able to build a swing. He jumps, goes sideways, and it does not work out for Polish. So there's only one person left. It's the man who went the furthest of everyone. Number 100, Boldly. 55 seconds on the clock. He has already witnessed this absolute massacre on the second stage. 7 people have been eliminated, and Addison Judah is the only person still to make it to the 3rd stage. Boldly wants to get back. He wants to show that his 3rd stage attempt in the previous tournament was not a fluke 2 months ago, and he is already onto the unstable bridge with 30 seconds left. The fastest time to this point, and he's generating momentum, and he does it! Oh my goodness! Bowling gets the jump of the medal spin, and he does it! Bowling! One of the smoothest runs we have seen on this second stage here in the reboot. He will now have 10 seconds left. He's saying, Jesus, but it does not matter. Come on! Come on! 3 seconds! 2 seconds! 1! Yes, he's done it! 2 seconds remaining, and he will go back to the 3rd stage. Addison Judah will not be alone on the 3rd stage tonight. We have 2 people on the 3rd stage. A new record. Despite 9 people coming in here, Bowling was able to show them why he wears number 100. And he does that again this tournament. Beats the unstable bridge, beats the medal spin, and the rest is history. Bowling is going back to the 3rd stage for the 2nd time. Well done.
ファイナルステージの麓を守る最強の要塞第3ステージ。 その中でも史上最難関とまで謳われるのは第4エリア。2段目に傾斜がついた新クリフハンガー。これまで挑んだ者は4人。しかもその先にはあと4エリアもの未開の地が待っている。その全てを攻略し、2年ぶりにファイナルステージの扉を開くのは誰だ。
So this is it. 100 competitors stepped onto Mount Midoriyama's lot at the beginning of the day at the first stage. And of the 100, only 2 competitors, 2 challengers still stand against the brutal mountain, ready to defy all the odds. 100 competitors started the journey today, but only 2 of them remain. The first to make it here, and the first to try it. The second person ever to attempt the third stage, number 98, Aizen Judah. Aizen Judah has brought along a crowd to watch them take on the third stage. But this course is brutal. It's only selected the best of the best after 2 grueling stages. And now, Aizen is here, 8 obstacles away from punching their ticket to the final stage. Here we go. And Aizen Judah has begun. 100 competitors started their journey today, but Aizen's journey on the third stage has just begun on the arm rings. He needs to navigate the rings down the track and navigate it through the track. It's a simple obstacle, but can drain you out pretty early if you're not careful or you do too many moves with the rings. Now for the upward portion here. This crowd looking on, all friends from ETO. Aizen now for the arm bike. Only the second person to ever attempt the arm bike in competition. Has to navigate the bike down the track, doing some wraparounds. Here we go. They're looking good. Aizen Judah. Almost to the end. And they have done it. Aizen Judah is through 2. 2 obstacles are complete, and 6 are to go. Up next, the curtain swing. This has gotten a modification since we last seen it. It now goes up, then down. There's 5 curtains, and now you have to perform wraparounds. Instead of 4 jumps, straight jumps, you have to do wraparounds going up, then down. Aizen going backwards. Has to grab that second curtain, gets that. Aizen Judah. Looking good. Line up for the third. And they get it. Now they have to go down. These wraps are a little easier now. Gets that. Last one. Aizen Judah. Aizen Judah has met their match. Here we go again. 2 months ago, this is where the tournament came to an end on the Shin cliffhanger. Aizen Judah is only the second person ever to reach this point in competition. Aizen Judah, they want total victory. But they're gonna have to beat the obstacle that no one has ever conquered. Bowling went out on this 2 months ago. They had to watch Bowling suffer at the hands of this third stage last time. Now, they're gonna have to do the same thing. It's the path that no one has ever dared to cross. It's that third stage. Aizen Judah, have they met their match? Here we go. They have begun the cliffhanger. The Shin cliffhanger. Now it's to go up to this 12-degree angle ledge. And they cannot span the gap. Just like before, they have to jump. Aizen struggling already on the second ledge. They look lost already here. Aizen Judah, on Shin SASUKE, you have to adapt. Aizen Judah, come on! Make us believe! Yes! Yes! You have to adapt. Aizen Judah, come on! Make us believe! Yes! Yes! One of the strongest runs we've ever seen on the first stage ever! Aizen Judah has found the way! But now it's time for uncharted territory. Starting with the jumping bars. No competitor has ever gotten to try any of these obstacles before. You have to swing and jump from bar to bar to bar to bar. Aizen Judah on the second. Trying to build up some swing here. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. Aizen Judah now kind of stopping here. But they just stopped. Apparently they're having some issues with the jumping bars already. Asked to jump to the third bar. You didn't get this far to go this far. Aizen Judah wants to take this fight to the tower. They want to become champion. Aizen Judah. One more bar. Here we go. Got it! Now we'll be taking our first look at the climbing bars. This is where we've seen every tester struggle. But Aizen Judah is already halfway up. Aizen Judah, though, slowing down. Aizen Judah, got it! Now 2 inches in the oh no! Whoa! Aizen Judah! Eliminated almost instantly on the spider flip, and their tournament is over! Aizen Judah! The 7th obstacle takes Aizen out! But this showed amazing composure all the way up until that point, navigating the early obstacles with barely any trouble. But the first sight of it was at the cliffhanger. Aizen, finally, for every single competitor who wasn't able to get here, even for bowling, Aizen Judah, they have shown us the way. They've shown us the path. Hope that the stage can be conquered, that the unbeatable can become beaten. Aizen Judah was the first person to ever defeat the Shin cliffhanger in competition, and her and their friends had something to say about it. They tore for the jumping bars and became the first person to ever defeat climbing bars in competition ever. And Aizen Judah, everyone has a limit. And Aizen Judah, when they made this transfer to the spider flip, they just lost their grip almost instantly, losing their grip and plunging into the water below. What an incredible run from Aizen Judah. So there's only one person left who still stands a chance against the Magic Castle of Steel. Number 100 Bowling, standing at the base of this third stage that took him out 2 months ago. The Shin cliffhanger has finally been beaten, but it's the obstacle that ended his dream 2 months ago. Is this his tournament for revenge? Here we go. Mr. 100, the last man standing for the second time. Can he carry a torch to the summit of the final stage? Here we go. He has begun the first stage, starting with the arm rings. He wants to carry this torch. He wants to carry the torch for the 99 others that have fallen victim to this unforgiving course. Aizen Judah being one of them, who was eliminated in heartbreaking fashion on that 7th obstacle spider flip. Aizen Judah went down, so Bowling is all alone to carry the torch for the second time. Here we go. Now for the arm bike. He struggled heavily with this 2 months ago, especially with trying to get it to move, but he has adapted quickly. And Bowling gets through that. 2 down, now facing the revamped curtain swing. You gotta go up on it and then down. You have to make some wraparounds to get through this obstacle. Much slightly harder than what he had to face just 2 months ago. 2 months ago, this obstacle was pretty straightforward. Now it's evolved. Here we go. Has begun the Shin, well, he has begun the curtain flip. Okay? He's trying to find the strategy here. There is no clock on this stage. It's all him. He wants to get back to that cliffhanger. He wants to get revenge on the very course that's ended his dream 2 months ago. Like I said before, on Shin SASUKE, you have to adapt. Always struggling early on here. Trying to find a good strategy to make it across these 5 curtains. Going up, then down is much harder than it looks here. Especially because one slip of your hand and it's over. Gets that second curtain. Now for the third. Now it has to go down. You have to grab around. You have to turn your character a full 180 degrees to make that ledge. Set himself up. It's a good setup and it works. Now he can skip this last curtain. He can go for the last wrap. It looks like he's gonna skip it, and he does! Bowling is back at the Shin cliffhanger. As Judah giving him advice on the sideline. The rest of this course could be beatable. But 2 months ago, this is where his dream came to an end. Bowling, will he go down on the second time? Here we go! Bowling, this is it! Yes, he does it! Bowling takes revenge on the Shin cliffhanger in one single motion, one single move. He has taken revenge. 2 months ago, this team was unbeatable. Now Ice and Judah and Bowling have both conquered it together. But now it's time for the back half of this course. Starting with the jumping bars. Here we go, he has begun. Starting out on the jumping bars. Here we go. Gets this first bar. You have to swing midair and jump to the next bar. This is by far one of the most difficult third stages we have ever seen in competition. This is his moment. Bowling, he does not want to settle for failing again and again. Now for the climbing bars. This is what he was worried about. If he got to the back section of this course, it was going to be climbing bars. If he said he was going to go out here, it was going to be on this obstacle. Trying to figure out how to get on here. The longer you're hanging on this obstacle, the longer you're hanging on this course, the more your arms are going to burn. This goes straight in from climbing bar. This goes straight in from jumping bars into climbing bars into the spider flip. You don't get to rest until that rest bar placed before that final obstacle, the final ring. He has begun. Starting off here, he is the last man standing. We saw Eisen beat this obstacle just a couple minutes ago, but went out on that same transfer almost instantly. Here we go. Here's the transfer, and he does it! Now we're beginning to take our first full look at the spider flip. You have to crawl under this I-beam using your hands. And then you have to climb up and get your feet up. Here we go. And he gets it. Now he has to jump back to the other side. Then he can climb down. Come on! Take revenge! Yes! Bowling! One obstacle away from the final stage. Is it in sight? Is it in sight after all? Bowling, one obstacle away from reaching the final stage, reaching the base of the magic castle of steel. It's ever evolving. It's just so difficult. But Bowling is one obstacle away from reaching the final stage. He's looking at it. He wants to get to the top of that tower. Here we go, the final ring. This is a win. You have to slide down the track, and you have to make it to the end, and you have to build up swing for the final jump. This jump, however, that final jump, is what makes this stage truly the final factor. Ice and Judah telling Bowling to take it slow. And that is the right strategy you want to do on this obstacle. You want to take it slow at this rate in the competition. And this is anything but free. He is correct. By the time any of the testers could get here, they would either gas out halfway through the obstacle or fail the very final jump. Only 3%, less than 3% of third stage competitors in every RW competition has survived long enough to reach this ending jump. He has already reached the final obstacle. He is one of few people in history to ever reach this final obstacle. Now it's gonna be one of 3% of people to ever reach this final jump. That is, if he doesn't able to slip off here. He can't slip off. He cannot afford to fail here again. He wants to take revenge. Here we go. He is almost to the end. Here we go. And he has made it to the end. Now he has to build up swing and make it to this final dismount platform. Here we go. Bowling. Can he do the unthinkable? Here we go. Bowling! Come on! No! Oh my no! That is it! For the second time, the Magic Castle of Steel, the final stage, remains untouched. For the second time in history, it ends on the third stage, but Bowling goes so much further than ever before, just feet away from finishing this third stage, just like that. All 100 competitors for the second time have been eliminated by the ever-evolving, ever-growing Magic Castle of Steel. These early obstacles looked like no issue. He was able to take revenge on the Shin cliffhanger in just one single move. 2 months have passed in a blink of an eye. On the rest of this stage, he took it on with revenge in his head. He wanted it so badly. He conquered the jumping bars, the climbing bars, even made the big jump on the spider flip that Addison never got to attempt from here. And on the final ring, well, he got there. And on this final jump, he just got the jump, but then just fell off. Wasn't able to hold on, and his tournament is over. That is how his story will end. Another tournament has gone by, and the Magic Castle of Steel still looms out of reach for the competitors. While the course is still the same, the competitors got better, but the course fought back in retaliation, with the unstable bridge claiming top competitors like Rich and Roblox Polish Player. But both Alice and Judah and Bowling were able to take revenge on the third stage, getting further than they've ever gone in competition. But still, the Magic Castle Seal remains unreached for both of them. The day has begun. A new day has begun. The sun slowly rising on Goriyama as Bowie is now looking at the tower, the one that he was just one jump away from.